How's it going there, XDA TV? It's RootJunky here again, and in today's video we're going to be talking about batch files. Yes, that's right, batch files. They are fun, cool utilities that we use to hack, root, mod our Android devices. So we're going to talk about that today, but first I want to give you a little bit of information about batch files. A batch file is a type of script file. It's a text file containing a series of commands to be executed by a command line interpreter. Okay, so we're talking here about batch files, and the first thing I want to just note for you guys is I'm by no means an expert on writing a batch file. Not even a little bit. Yes, I dabble in it, and I just want to share what I know and broaden maybe your horizon in doing this. So first of all, I just want to talk about it, batch files, and batch files relating to Android, obviously, because we're on XDA TV here, and we like Android. So first of all, you can see here I have SDK and I have platform tools. Basically, when you're writing a batch file for Android, you're going to need to have your ADB, specifically for Windows here, ADB and your Fastboot files, and you're going to need to have probably your ADB Win files here as well. So these 4 files right here you're going to need, because almost every command you do when you run a batch file references the ADB EXE and the Fastboot EXE in it. So to write a batch file, you got to start with these things right here. So I'm going to copy them and just really quickly create a new folder for test, we'll call it, or we'll call it batch. And if you're going to write a batch file, you're going to start with a folder with these files, basically. From here, it's very simple to write a batch file. You're going to go ahead and you're going to come down here and create a new text document, and you're going to name it run, for example, let's just say, or whatever you want to call your batch file. And from here you can actually write your batch file. All you do is you open it up. I like to use this program. This is a word processor called Notepad++. Works very well. I use it for all of my Android related text editing. So this is a really, really nice tool to use. So from here we could write our batch file. But if you guys want to know how to do this and want to get some experience with it and even have a little bit of knowledge about it, this is what I'd highly recommend. What I would do is I would download other people's batch files. Okay? If you have no idea how to do it, download their batch files. So here is a list of a bunch of batch files that I write and stuff that I kind of support. So you got your Samsung watches and your this watch, LG watch. I've got Tegra Note 7, Fire TV firmware, Restore tool. These are a bunch of tools that I've created. And basically what I do is I download some guy's tool, it doesn't matter whose, and I would go ahead and open their tool and look at their batch file. Okay? So the way you can do this, if you have, see it says one start super tool blank 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 .bat, right? So if you come in here and you go to rename and you change the file extension to .txt, it's going to say you're changing it, the file extension name. I said that's okay. And it doesn't run as a batch file anymore, but now you can open it and you can actually see the whole code on how to do this. Alright, so you can see exactly what I typed in. I literally typed all this up, and this runs when you click on it correctly and does everything this batch file can do. So this is how you can get in and view the commands that these people are making, the developers who make these batch files like what I do, which is pretty cool. So this is how I learned it. I picked it up like this. I also had guys like Matt Groff who helped me out and kind of got me rolling with it and helped with questions. So that was really, really nice. So we're talking, here's the batch file. Let me go ahead and just close this out and just bring it back to a batch file and just show you what that big batch file looks like. Now you can again see here, I have a way to view it here on the side. I can't edit it over here, but you can view the whole thing. But just show you how it runs. I mean, this is what it looks like when you write out all the code, or the commands more or less, because batch files are really just commands. and then here's what it would look like running. So you can see some information. You can see I'm starting my ADB stuff. It's checking for devices that are attached, and then the next command or the next window that pops up is going to be the list of options, and you just pick your option and you roll with it. So this is the running feature or look of it versus the text, the actual like commands you're actually putting in. So now you got a pretty good understanding of what we're doing here. Also really quick, anything you reference in a batch file, the stuff that you're referencing or you're asking the batch file to do has to be in the same folder as the batch file, or you have to designate where those files are so it knows where to pull those files from to, you know, send them to your device or to do whatever they're doing. Like I have a file here that's in a folder, so I have to reference it, this impactor exe, so I have to reference it in that folder when I call for the command for it. To launch it is what I'm actually doing. So that's basically what you're dealing with here on basic batch files. So let me go back really quickly and we'll come back to this one. So we have this run text, right? So we'll open that back up, and if we wanted to type in a command, if you want to make like just a super basic command to do something, you could do ADB reboot boot loader. Okay, that's super simple, super basic. You could say save, close it, go in here and rename the file to .bat, and okay, boom. You just created a batch file that runs the command ADB reboot bootloader. So basically what this command does is this references ADB exe, this file, and it references that, and then within this exe file, this application, it does the command reboot bootloader, which reboots your bootloader on your device if it's connected and running in ADB. That's basically a batch file. It's very, very simple. You can get way more in depth with it, but this is what you're in essence doing. Like I said, there's a lot more. You can learn a lot more commands. You could, you know, do whole firmware flashes of flashing fastboot flash system, fastboot flash recovery, boot, cache, data, vendor now for Nexus 9 devices, radios. You can automate everything, and the whole purpose of a batch file is to automate things. So it's tasks that you do a lot. You make a batch file, and now you can do it easily and not have to type everything out every time. You type it out the once and you're done. Also for noobs or guys who just don't know Android very well, it's a great feature to help those guys out to be able to hack and mod their device easily without having to give them a list of commands a mile long to type up and write in their command window. So talking of command windows, basically if you want to run a command window, you just go down to your start button on your computer. I have Windows 7 here, and type in cmd, and it's going to come up with cmd.exe, and this is your command window. Microsoft version, blank, copyright, all rights reserved, and it starts off, for me at least, on C user Tom 8 core. That is your command window. It's part of Windows. See right here, command.exe, which is what you're running all these batch files, or how the batch files are being executed. They're being run through this command window. Also, you can open one by holding shift, right-clicking, and open command window here, which then pops up a command window in that exact file location, which is again SDK platform tools, minus all the rest of that. Well guys, there you go. That's going to be my quick kind of overview of batch files. If you want full list of commands and that you can do with Fastboot or ADB, plus I wrote up a little article about batch files and scripts on my site, so you guys can check that out as well. Alright, there you go guys. That is my video here on batch files. I hope this got your juices flowing and got you excited about maybe writing some of your own batch files. You can do them as super simple to pretty in-depth and with menus and all kinds of stuff, but it's really up to you what you want to do. The logic is really cool to me. I really enjoy the logic of writing it all out and making it all happen, so pretty fun. That's about it for me. Please subscribe to XDA TV right here if you like this kind of content. Please give me a big thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Also, check out my YouTube channel RootJunky.com, or you can actually go to TomSGT123. I'll put links to that here and in the video description down below. And that's about all for me today. Catch you guys later. RootJunky out.